Hello students. So the topic today which we are going to discuss is the Nernst equation. And before starting this Nernst equation, first of all we will learn what is the Gibbs free energy. Okay. So students, as per your knowledge, if you can recall, okay, so you have read in class 11 this thermodynamics chapter. Okay. So in this thermodynamics chapter, you have learned the first law, right? So this is a very basic thing, so everyone of you must have heard or learned about this. Okay, so the first law, I'll not go into the depth of that. Okay, so now from the first law what do we get is that the first law, what does it says, there is expression which we get from the first law. Okay, which is what, which is like this. I will write and show you that the heat, okay, the heat we which we give on the system, okay, which the system absorbs the heat from the surrounding, okay, it is equal to the change in the internal energy of the system, okay, plus the work done by the system. Okay, so this is a expression which is derived from the first law of the thermodynamics. Okay, first law of thermodynamics, if you can recall, so it is there. Okay, so थर्मोडाइनमिक्स का फर्स्ट लॉ क्या बोलता है कि जो हीट एब्जॉर्ब्ड होता है सिस्टम के थ्रू, ओके, वो क्या किस चीज़ में यूज़ होता है, इंटरनल एनर्जी जो सिस्टम का होता है, किसी भी सिस्टम का अपना एक इंटरनल एनर्जी होता है, उसको इंक्रीज होता है, दैट्स वाई द चेंज इन इंटरनल एनर्जी, ठीक है, इंटरनल एनर्जी का चेंज हमने लिया, प्लस क्या होता है, वर्क डन बाय द सिस्टम, ठीक है ना। सो दिस इज द एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ द फर्स्ट लॉ। नाउ अभी जो ये वर्क डन है, वर्क डन दो टाइप का होता है अकॉर्डिंग टू दी थर्मोडाइनमिक्स। द वर्क डन इज ऑफ टू टाइप्स। वन इज दी योर एक्सपेंशन वर्क, ओके, एंड अनदर वन इज द नॉन एक्सपेंशन वर्क। ठीक है, पहला वर्क जो होता है वो एक्सपेंशन वर्क होता है और जो दूसरा है वो क्या है, नॉन एक्सपेंशन वर्क है। सो वर्क दो टाइप्स का होता है। ठीक है, सो जो एक्सपेंशन वर्क है ये प्रेशर वॉल्यूम वर्क है। ठीक है, सो आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू एन ओवरव्यू। ओके, सो ये जो प्रेशर वॉल्यूम वर्क होता है इसको हम लोग एक्सपेंशन वर्क बोलते हैं। सो ये दिस इज नॉट योर यूजफुल वर्क, इट इज यूज्ड इन दी expansion. Okay, it may be used in the expansion of the system. Okay, so this work is not calculated as the useful work. The useful work is this one, this part, the non-expansion work. Okay, so this does not have any fixed value, it will depend upon which system you are working with. Okay, so likewise, so these is our what useful work. So we are going to deal here in our galvanic cells, which when we will go when we will talk, so we will talk about these useful work, not this one. Okay, so these useful work in case of these galvanic cells, how can we write? So this work is very useful. I mean, this work will be used here. Okay, so this useful work which has come from this first law expression. Okay, so this is from if we go to the electrochemical cell, because here we are talking about the electrochemical cells. Okay, this chapter, the galvanic cells, right? So in the electrochemical cells, you know students, that when these chemical reactions take place, so as a result of the chemical reactions which takes place in the cell, what happens, the electricity is generated, right? The electricity is generated, or you can say the electrical energy is generated, right? So these can be said as the work, right? Because for these we have learned the working of the galvanic cells, right? So we have seen what, as a result of the chemical reactions which takes place in this cell, the electrical energy is generated, right? That means the work is done, right? This is a kind of work which is we get from the electrochemical cells. ठीक है ना, electrochemical cells जब work करता है chemical reactions के through से क्या होता है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का जनरेशन होता है, और दिस इज, और ये क्या है, एक टाइप का वर्क हुआ। ठीक है ना, सो वर्क इज डन। Now these work, okay, these work we want to calculate, right? Eh, so these useful work, how we can write? So already I've said you that this work is not fixed. It can be electrical work, it can be any kind of work, okay. So here in our galvanic cell, this work is the what? Electrical work. This work is the electrical work because it is used in the generation of electricity. So these electrical work, how can we write? We can write like this: q, okay, this q is the what? It is the charge of the electron, because this work which is generated, it is generated because of the uh, charge of the because the electrons are flowing through these cells, right? The electrons are continuously flowing through the electrochemical cells, hence the work will be written like this: the charge of the electron, right, into the potential difference, into the potential difference which is generated from the cell and which we denote from the E cell, right? So these work can be written like this, that the work will be equal to the charge, okay, the charge which is passed through the cell and into the potential difference which is created from the cell, right? Now these uh, this is the negative, right? This is your negative work, okay. This is always negative because we have seen that the work is done on by the system, okay. So whenever the work will be done by the system, we will write the negative, right? So this is what the useful work which we are getting from the electrochemical cell, okay. Now students, see, this q is what? This q is the charge carried by the electrons. Now we know that your one electron has a charge of how much? So we will calculate this q now, okay. So this one electron has a charge of how much? 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, right? So if, so we don't know how much how much electrons are flowing through this cell, right? So what do we do? We will calculate the charge carried by 1 mole of electron, okay, 1 mole of electron. So 1 mole of, for 1 mole of electron, what will be the charge? For 1 mole of electron, what will be the charge? We will multiply this expression, this value by what? The what? Avogadro's number, which is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 moles, right? Right? So this is the 1 mole, this is the charge carried by 1 electron, and this is the charge carried by 1 mole of electron, right? So 1 mole. So when we calculate this, we will find it to be like this: 96487, okay, coulomb per mole, okay. So this value we get, and sometimes in your book will be, you will get it like that, it will be given in the whole value, okay. It will be given like this: 96500, okay. So this is the q, the value of what? The value of, sorry, this is the charge carried by 1 mole of electron, right? So now what we will do, that we will put these yes, now these value, no, this is what? 1 Faraday. So Faraday was a scientist. So the charge carried by 1 mole of electron is written as 1 Faraday, okay. 1 Faraday of charge. So what is 1 Faraday? 1 Faraday is nothing but it is the charge carried by 1 mole of electron, right? So what we can write in place of q now? In place of q, we can write like this, that w electrical will be equal to minus of nf into E cell. Now why n? Because in general, if we are writing, we will write n. If we are talking about any particular cell, we can substitute the value of n. But now since we are talking about the general condition, we will write the n number of electrons, and this f is the charge carried by this 1 mole of electron, n mole of electrons, okay. So like this, we get the expression of w as what? N minus of nf E cell, okay. Now one thing is important here, which is the Gibbs free energy. See, Gibbs free energy has no importance in our day-to-day life. The importance comes from the change in Gibbs free energy. The change in Gibbs free energy is written as, delta G. So delta G is the change in Gibbs free energy. You have learned in the in the thermodynamics, okay, the change in the Gibbs free energy is written as delta G. Okay, delta G. Now delta G, if see, whenever I will give you an example. Suppose, say, a body is kept on a hill, okay, a ball is kept on a hill, say, okay. So what will happen that it will roll down on its own, right? It will roll down on its own. If a body is kept on a hill, what will happen? It will roll down on its own. Now why it is doing so? Because it is trying to maintain the energy minimum condition, because if it is placed on the top of the hill, the potential energy is maximum. So what it will do, it will spontaneously, means on its own, खुद ही वो क्या होगा, नीचे आ चला आएगा. Why? Because it is trying to attain a energy minimum condition. Okay, so every system tries to attain a एनर्जी मिनिमम कंडीशन. किसी भी सिस्टम को, किसी भी बॉडी को एनर्जी मिनिमम चाहिए, मतलब उसको स्टेबिलिटी चाहिए, एंड स्टेबिलिटी इज इन्वर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू एनर्जी. ओके, एनर्जी ज़्यादा है मतलब स्टेबिलिटी कम है, तो कोई भी सिस्टम एनर्जी मिनिमम की तरफ जाएगा, मतलब स्टेबिलिटी की तरफ जाएगा. ठीक है, सो ये जो चेंज आया, ठीक है, ये जो एनर्जी में चेंज आया, सो दैट वी से एज द चेंज इन फ्री एनर्जी, राइट? चेंज इन फ्री एनर्जी, लाइक you can see that heat when you keep a hot cup of tea, say, right, after some time you will see that it becomes cold. Why? Because the energy is flowing from the hot system to the cold system, right? Now why it is doing so? Because the hot system, it is what, it is in a energy maximum condition, but every system, already I have said you, it will try to attain a energy minimum condition. Hence the heat will flow from the hot body to the cold body, from the cup to the surrounding, the heat will flow like that. Okay, so this change in free energy which is occurring as a in a reaction is known as the change in free energy, and it occurs in spontaneous process. So whenever this change in free energy occurs, the process is said to be spontaneous. And one more thing, that this change in free energy has always to be negative. For us, if I say that a process is spontaneous, spontaneous means the process is taking place on its own, or by applying some small initiation, but the process is occurring, right? So that is known as a spontaneous process or feasible process. The reaction is known as spontaneous, and for that a condition is there, that the change in free energy, the change in Gibbs free energy, delta G, should be negative. For a spontaneous process, the change in free energy should be negative. Okay, now, so these already I've said you that the change in free energy, now you can see, relate that this change in free energy which is occurring, ठीक है, जो एनर्जी में चेंज आ रहा है, तो यही तो वर्क डन है, राइट? इन अ वे दिस चेंज इन फ्री एनर्जी जो हुआ, जो बॉल ऊपर से नीचे आया, हिल का ऊपर से नीचे, दैट मीन्स इट इज द चेंज इन फ्री एनर्जी इज टेकिंग प्लेस, एंड दैट इज द वर्क डन. वी आर गेटिंग द वर्क डन. Likewise in a electrochemical cell, when there is a change in free energy, when the energy the energy is decreased, right? So what is happening? We are getting the work done. So that means in a way we can say that this W is equal to what? This W is equal to delta G, and hence we can write what? Hence we can write this expression W, how we can write delta G is equal to minus of NF E cell. Okay, so this expression is very important. From here we can find out the change in Gibbs free energy by knowing the E cell. Okay, now we are concerned very much about the E naught cell, because because we want to compare, if we want to compare the potential, so we need the E naught cell, and for that the delta G naught comes into picture. So delta G naught will be equal to NF E naught cell. Okay, so this is nothing but the standard condition. That means the temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius, the molar concentrations will be 1 molar, and the pressure will be 1 atmosphere. So at that condition, delta G naught will be equal to minus of NF E naught cell. So this is your expression for the standard change in Gibbs free energy. Okay, and for the process to be spontaneous, your delta G naught should be what? Negative. Clear? And from here only you can see what, for your reaction to be spontaneous, if delta G or delta G naught should be negative, delta E the E cell should be what? E cell should be what? Positive. From this expression you can see if E cell is positive, then only delta G will be what? Negative. So that means what? For us, a process to be spontaneous or feasible, one lecture I have explained you, there I have taught you the feasibility of a reaction. So there you have seen that I have told you if the cell potential, electrode potential, uh, based upon the electrode potential values, I have explained you the spontaneity, right? So why I have told like that? So this is the reason that whenever the E cell will be positive, your reaction will be spontaneous. That means the reaction will take place on its own, right? So whenever the question is asked to find out the spontaneity, how you will find out? You will find out the E cell, and if the E cell is positive, the value is positive, that means your process is spontaneous. Or in another way, if your delta G is negative, the process is spontaneous. Okay, so now one expression is there. Okay, one expression is there, which is this one. So you have to remember this one. I will apply this expression in the another. So we will find out the Nernst equations. For the Nernst equation, one equation from the expression from the thermodynamics only, if you remember. Okay, the name I just forget. It is delta G equal to delta G naught plus RT ln Q. Okay, this Q is nothing but it is the reaction quotient. Okay, and this is equal to nothing but the concentration of the product, okay, in a reaction, divided by the concentration of the reactant. Okay, this Q. Okay, now delta G, so already we know. Now just we find out what is delta G. It is NF E cell, right? And what is delta G naught? It is minus of NF E naught cell, right? And what this is RT ln Q, you can write, or you can write this one directly, product by reactant. Okay, now you see, if we divide the whole expression, if we divide the whole expression by NF, what we will get? What we will get? Minus of E cell, right? We are dividing the whole expression by NF, so we will get minus of E cell equal to minus of E naught cell plus RT by NF ln Q, right? Now the signs you just change, it will be equal to E cell equal to E naught cell minus of RT by NF ln Q, right? And now if we want to change this natural logarithm to the logarithm base 10, okay, what we will do? We will multiply by 2.303, right? 2.303 RT by NF, okay, log of Q. Now students, this R is equal to the gas constant, right? This R is nothing but the gas constant, and it is equal to 8.314 joule per mole per Kelvin, right? And this T is equal to the 298 Kelvin, because already I have said you, right, that we are taking the standard condition. And this F is equal to 1 Faraday, which is equal to 96500 Coulomb per mole, right? So if we substitute all these values here, what do we'll get? You can just calculate and see. Okay, I'm writing directly. So if you calculate, you will get this one, 0.0591, and n will change. Okay, n will be, we will write n because for every reaction this n value will change. N will be number of electrons in a reaction, so it will be different for different reactions. So here we will just write n in general. Okay, so this is your final expression of the Nernst equation. So in place of log Q, you can write here the product. The product I'll write by P, and this is the reactant. So this is your Nernst equation. Okay, this is your Nernst equation, which we are getting from the Gibbs free energy value, right? From the Gibbs free energy expression we have took out, and then the Nernst equation we are getting like this. So this Nernst equation is very much important. Okay, this Nernst equation is important because from this Nernst equation you can find out the E cell at any condition. Because earlier when we are finding out E naught cell, like how do we find E naught cell? By E naught cathode minus E naught anode, right? जब हम लोग ई नॉट सेल निकालते हैं, ई नॉट कैथोड माइनस ई नॉट एनोड करके, वहाँ पे जो कंसंट्रेशन होता था प्रोडक्ट स्पीशीज का, ठीक है, हम लोग क्या लेते थे? 1 मोलर, ठीक है। तो ये ई नॉट सेल हम लोग कंसंट्रेशन 1 मोलर लेकर ही कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अदर कंडीशन, मान लो कि 1 मोलर नहीं है, ठीक है, स्पीशीज का कंसंट्रेशन 1 मोलर नहीं है, तब क्या करें, इसके लिए नॉर्म्स इक्वेशन कैन बी अप्लाइड. For any concentration other than the standard concentration, the Nernst equation can be applied. Okay. Now one more thing here which is important is the equilibrium condition. See students, at equilibrium what will happen? So this expression you write down, okay, because these they ask you, okay, in your exams it comes, the Nernst equation, it is very important. See at equilibrium what will happen? See, I am taking an example of your Daniell cell only. See in the Daniell cell what happens, if you remember the galvanic cell, if you remember, the zinc and copper was connected, right? So zinc 2 plus was decreasing, going on, zinc 2 plus in the solution was going on increasing. You just recall that, okay, the zinc 2 plus was going on increasing in the solution, okay, or copper 2 plus was going on decreasing, right? Now what will happen, a condition will come when these two values will become equal, and at that condition your E cell which you get from the voltmeter will the value will be 0, okay, the value will be 0, okay, because it is going on decreasing, right? As a result the cell is working, the value of E cell is going on decreasing, and one time will come when the concentration of both the half cells will become equal, the E cell will become 0, and that condition is the equilibrium condition. So at equilibrium condition what will happen, your E cell will become 0, okay, at equilibrium condition your E cell will become 0, and when E cell will become 0 we will put this value here. So when it will be 0, what will happen, 0 equal to E naught cell minus 0.0591 by n log of, sorry, and one more thing, when these equilibrium at equilibrium condition, since this is equal, right, these two concentration already have said you that it becomes equal, so what will happen, we will take this value as a constant, and this we will take it as what, a constant, which is known as the Kc, which is the equilibrium constant, okay, because at equilibrium what is happening, the concentrations are becoming equal, so we can take it as a constant, which is the Kc. Now you just arrange it, it will be E naught cell equal to 0.0591 by n log of Kc, and this, from this expression you can find out the value of the equilibrium constant, okay, from this expression you can find out the value of equilibrium constant can be calculated once you know the E naught cell, and E naught cell is very easy to find, because at standard condition we know that E naught cell is equal to E naught cathode and E naught anode, and once you know the value of E naught cathode and E naught anode, your E naught cell can be calculated, and n, so you will know only because the n comes from the reaction, right, how many electrons are involved, how many moles of electrons are involved, and from that you can find out the value of this equilibrium constant Kc, which is simply difficult to find, okay. So from this expression it becomes easier to find out the Kc, and Kc is the equilibrium constant, okay. So this was all about the Gibbs free energy, the Nernst equation, and how this Nernst equation is important, and at equilibrium condition how we can find out the Kc value, right? So students, here if you have any doubt, because I've gone some little fast, because okay, so if you have any doubt you can just ask me, and next if you have no doubt we will try to do the numericals based upon this Nernst equation, because this Nernst equation, based upon this Nernst equation, the numericals they ask you, okay, they will ask you, okay. So here I'll just end this video, and I'll request everyone, if you like this video, please like the video and share it, and also subscribe this channel, so that next time I post a video you can get the notification, okay. So thank you so much.